So if you've been around social media for a while, if you've been on YouTube, if you've seen people talk about what growth on social media or growth on YouTube looks like, you've probably heard people say over and over again, consistency is key. You have to post constantly and on the same frequency, once a day, twice a day, 5 times a day, once a week, once a month, whatever it is, you have to be consistent and you have to consistently post. And I don't know about you guys, but I find that incredibly difficult at times because I'm not always feeling creative. Sometimes I get these short bursts of just wanting to create everything and anything under the sun. And sometimes I fall into a lull where I get home and all I want to do is just sit on the couch and watch a TV show or something. So lately I've been thinking a lot about how can I make that consistency easier for me, right? How can I consistently feel and be creative without feeling burnt out or feeling like I'm running out of creative juices? And the thing that has helped me a lot recently is coming up with a process that is efficient for creating. And I know that might seem a bit counterintuitive, right? You think about creativity, and a lot of times we think about this spontaneous thing. And the ideas themselves, the things that I feel motivated to create, the ideas that pop into my head, those are absolutely still spontaneous for the most part. But for things like creating a film or a video, or even a photo for that matter, once you get the idea, once that spontaneity passes, there's a whole process that follows afterwards that oftentimes, like, at least for me, that's what was just sucking the creative juices away from me. And so my idea was that the better I can make my process, the more efficient I can make getting videos like this edited, uploaded, and posted, the more time and energy I can focus on actually coming up with the ideas and actually being creative. So today, I'm gonna take you guys through my process of coming up with an idea for a video, writing it, structuring it, shooting it, editing it, and uploading it, and everything that I do from start to finish. And hopefully there's something in here that'll help you guys with creating your next video or creating a better process for yourself. So let's start with the ideas. More often than not, the ideas that I come up with for videos are just things that pop into my head as I'm going about my day. And so for me, it's very important to have a place where I can jot those ideas down. So the main tool that I use to jot down ideas is just a very haphazard Google Drive spreadsheet where I just jot down essentially the name and a short description of an idea as I come up with something. Now that may not work the best for all creators, so you can certainly use something like the Notes app on your phone, a voice memo, or whatever other tool you might find that is helpful for just committing ideas to memory. Once I've jotted the idea down, obviously not all of them are going to be actual viable videos or things that I can actually create something from. A lot of times they're just crazy ideas, and then when I go to start writing them, a lot of times it doesn't really work out in the way that I thought it would when the idea popped into my head, so a lot of things just kind of get deleted and thrown away. So once I've gotten those ideas written down, the next step is to expand on them a little bit. And this is where I start to write something resembling a script. Now, videos like this, a talking head video with some graphics and some overlays and stuff, it's not super important for me to map out like every single line that I'm gonna say. And like, I'm not reading from a prompter line by line right now by any means. But writing down a script and kind of expanding on that outline helps me figure out what is it that I want to say, what makes sense to keep in the video, what maybe is a little too much and I can cut out, what areas can I get a little bit more creative, things like that. Is the flow of the video going to make sense? Is it going to be good? All of that I can figure out as I'm writing through it because it's forcing me to think through it a little bit longer than just putting together an outline. Now, for other more, what I would say, creatively involved videos that maybe involve some kind of like sketches or skits or something where it's not just like talking into a camera and putting together, something educational, something a little bit more creative, I do tend to write a script out. And as I'm writing out the script, I'm thinking through what the actual dialogue is that I want to say, whether that's a monologue over the actual video, whether that's something that I'm actually saying to the camera. I think about what types of shots I want. and I write them down, whether they're interior, whether they're exterior, whether they're wide, whether they're rule of thirds, whatever detail I can provide in the script, the better it's going to be when I go and shoot that final product. Now, if I'm writing an actual script, one of the things that I'm kind of coming up with along the way is a shot list, right? In essence, what I'm writing for myself is a set of instructions for future me to shoot. As I'm thinking through what I want to create, I have a vision of it, I can picture it in my head. So the more that I write down, the more detail I can provide for my future self, the better it's going to be to actually shoot, and the easier it's going to be to actually shoot. Now, another thing that I find very helpful, especially for the more creative videos, is coming up with some kind of a storyboard. And essentially, it's like a comic book almost. It's drawn out frame by frame what you want a scene to look like. Now, obviously for a one-person production like mine, it doesn't make sense to create a full-blown storyboard. Essentially, my version of a storyboard is I first take any audio elements that I'm going to use in the video, like any music, any sound effects, any dialogue or monologues or anything like that, voiceovers, and I will try to structure all of that out across my timeline in a way that I feel like flows well, that matches up with what I have envisioned in my head. And then on top of the audio tracks, I will create color mats in Premiere Pro or title slides in Premiere Pro that essentially just block out, this is what I want happening in this frame, this is the amount of time that I have to show that, and so on and so forth. And it helps me get a visual idea and an audio idea of what my video is going to look like. It helps me understand the pacing of what that video is going to be at the end, and allows me to make some minor adjustments maybe to my script along the way. Now, at this stage, some of y'all might be thinking, this is a lot of planning and preparation work for a YouTube video. And a lot of you might be correct. For my videos, I want a certain kind of style and pacing and production value to it, and that's the reason why I do so much legwork at the beginning and so much planning. But these are just things that kind of help me stay nice and organized. Now, for me, shooting the video has always been the fun part. But once you're done with the fun part, the work actually begins. I've done all of the prep work. I've set myself up well to actually do the shoot. I've done the shoot. I've gotten everything that I needed. I know that I've gotten everything I needed, and I know that I don't have to go back and shoot anything else after the fact. Now is the hard part, the actual editing of the video. Now, as far as editing the video goes, I'm not gonna talk too much about like how to edit a video, how to use Premiere Pro or anything like that. But what I do wanna talk about is the stages that I use and the different kind of processes that I have to streamline my video editing. Because for any kind of video that you make, the editing part is going to be the most time-intensive process. So my video editing process is essentially made up of 4 different stages. First is the structure of the video. Second are any overlays and transitions of the video. Thirdly, I do the audio. And finally, and the last step before I export, I do the color. So stage 1 is honestly the most time-intensive part of this whole process. It's really the part where I create the video. I set up the structure, I might use that storyboard and actually put in the actual clips to replace the storyboard clips. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm basically building the entire video out here. Once I've gotten the structure done, once I've built the foundation of my video, stage 2 is where I start to build on top of that. I've gotten all my talking head stuff, I've gotten the basic flow and structure of a video taken care of. Now is where I embellish on it. This is where I add any effects, any zooms, any transitions, any kind of overlays or graphics or titles, anything that would go on top of the primary timeline. This is where I go in and add all of that stuff. Now, once I've added all of the things on top of the foundation that I want to add, I almost have a complete video. There's just a couple of minor adjustments that I have to make it a polished final product. So stage 3 is where I fix any of the audio issues and make any audio improvements. This includes fading and transitioning music. This includes adding sound effects. This includes optimizing my voice and applying effects to my voice if I'm creating a talking head video of some sort, and just making sure that everything sounds good. Now, once I've taken care of all of the audio and the video sounds good, it's time to make sure the video looks good as well. So stage 4 is where I do all of the color correction and any color grading to make sure that I have a final product that is nice and polished, that sounds good and looks good. Now, I'm not going to talk about actual color correction or color grading process here because I think that should be its own separate video. If you want to see that one as well, leave a comment down below and make sure you're subscribed. Now that the editing is done, it is time to export. for my export settings, here is what I use. My codec for YouTube videos is always going to be H.264. As far as the resolution goes, I always match it to the maximum resolution of my video, which is always going to be 4K. Now, for frame rate, I always have it match whatever my source videos are. Now, for bitrate, if I'm exporting a 4K video for YouTube, I have a target bitrate of 55 megabits per second, and I do VBR 1 pass for my bitrate. Now, as far as bitrate, this varies depending on where you look on the internet. It can vary from like 20 megabits to like 40 to like 70 to 100. There's like a million different answers out there, and I'm not going to sit here and say that the way that I do it is the absolute correct one, but it's the one that I feel like works the best. As far as audio goes, I just leave all of that the default setting. As long as I've done my audio mixing and audio effects well in the edit, I usually don't find too much of an issue here. Now, for every export, I will also render at the maximum depth and maximum quality and make sure that those checkboxes are checked off, just to give it the best chance of being a nice, polished, finished product. Now, once I'm done exporting, I will work on my thumbnail. Occasionally, the thumbnail is a dedicated image, but more often than not, I pull a screen grab from the actual video itself and use that as the base image for my thumbnail. As far as thumbnails and titles go, I usually try to make at least 5 or 6 different variations, sometimes more, depending on what my SEO tools tell me is the best and most effective thumbnail. Now, speaking of SEO, the tool that I use to optimize all of my YouTube videos is a tool called TubeBuddy. It has all the features that I personally need and care about, and it's relatively affordable. And one of my favorite features is the thumbnail analyzer, which uses AI to create a heat map that shows you where eyes are being drawn to and where the most attention is being focused on your thumbnail. And then it gives you a rating on whether it's more effective or less effective than alternate options, and so on and so forth. Now, the only thing left to do is to finalize the details of your upload and get it ready to release. And that's pretty much it. That is my process of creating a YouTube video from start to finish. For those of y'all that are fellow creators on this platform, I would love to hear what you guys do. I'm always looking for new ideas to make my process better. So if you have some of those ideas, let me know in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. If you learned something and you want to see more photography related content like this, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on, and I'll see you guys in the next one.